Let's flip back in time to a chapter of history that some folks might want to keep in the shadows. You see, the story of Fanta, that sweet and bubbly soft drink, has some rather dark origins tied to it, none other than the Nazi era. It's a tale that starts during the grim days of World War II, so when you're ready to hear it, lend me your ears. Well, it all started in Germany around the year 1940 when the Coca-Cola Company found itself in quite a pickle. You see, during the war, it became nearly impossible for the Coca-Cola Company to import the syrup needed to make their famous drink, thanks to a little thing called a trade embargo. But the thirst for that bubbly, sweet elixir was still strong. Now, Coca-Cola wasn't about to let a little thing like a world war get in the way of their profits, so they decided to come up with a new drink to keep their business afloat in Nazi Germany. So Max Keith, who was the head of Coca-Cola's operations in Nazi Germany at the time, had to come up with a solution. The first flavor of Fanta, which was created to replace the original Coca-Cola recipe during the war, was made using waste products and some pretty unorthodox ingredients. Since importing essential components like coca leaves and sugar from outside Germany was nearly impossible during the war, the folks at the German Coca-Cola branch had to get pretty creative. They decided to use whatever they could find locally, and that's when the peculiar ingredients came into play. The first flavor of Fanta was made using things like apple fiber, which was essentially the leftovers from apple processing, and whey, a byproduct of cheese production, grounding up whatever scraps they could to concoct a new beverage. It was a make do and mend approach out of sheer necessity. It wasn't exactly a gourmet delicacy, but it was something that could pass as soda in those trying times. They had to turn waste products into something that could pass as a refreshing drink, and that's how the first Fanta flavor came into existence, born out of scarcity and resourcefulness during a time when the world was caught in the chaos of war. The name Fanta comes from the German word Fantasy, which means imagination or fantasy. It's almost like they were trying to sell you an illusion, isn't it? Now, here's where it gets really eerie. You see, Fanta's creation was not just a business move, but also a propaganda tool for the Nazi regime. Max Keith made it clear that the new beverage was meant to support the war effort. Fanta's marketing during the time was closely tied to the ideals of the Third Reich. The drink was developed under the watchful eye of the Nazi government. Max Keith even claimed that Fanta was the drink of the future because he was in the good graces of the Nazis. It was essentially a wartime substitute for Coca-Cola. The bottles even featured patriotic imagery and slogans, and the advertisements associated Fanta with the virtues of the Nazi regime. It was used to distract people from the horrors of the war to provide a taste of normalcy in those troubled times, and that's where Fanta was born. After the war, things changed, of course. The Coca-Cola Company regained control of its German operations, and Fanta was rebranded as a non-Nazi beverage. But the fact remains that Fanta's early history is intertwined with the tumultuous times of World War II. And when their benefactors fell after the turbulent times of World War II, Fanta went through quite a transformation. Fast forward to the 1950s, and Fanta was ready to embrace a new beginning in Italy. This time, it was a fresh start, far removed from its origins in Nazi Germany. In 1955, the Coca-Cola Company decided to introduce Fanta to the Italian market, and this marked the true birth of modern Fanta as we know it today. Italy, with its rich history and passion for food and drink, proved to be the perfect setting for Fanta's resurgence. The Italian version of Fanta was different from its wartime predecessor. It was created with a distinct focus on capturing the flavors of the Mediterranean with an array of fruity tastes that appeal to the Italian palate. It was a rebirth of the brand, far removed from its wartime associations. Fanta quickly gained popularity in Italy and became a beloved beverage among Italians and people all over the world. It introduced a range of fruity flavors that are now familiar to us, like orange, lemon, and grape. These flavors added a touch of zest and vibrancy to the soft drink landscape. From there, Fanta's story took a brighter turn, and it became a symbol of refreshment and joy, rather than a tool of wartime propaganda. Today, Fanta is enjoyed worldwide in various flavors and has found its place in the hearts of people young and old, a testament to its enduring appeal. So while Fanta's origins may be shadowed by its past, its journey from those dark days to its bright and vibrant present in Italy is a story of transformation and resilience, showing that even in the face of ominous beginnings, a brand can find a new and more hopeful path. Let's step back in time once again, now more recently to a rather unsettling incident that occurred in Nigeria back in 2007. You see, in Nigeria, Fanta and Sprite were both products of the Coca-Cola Company, were found to have a rather alarming issue. It was discovered that the levels of benzoic acid and sunset yellow additives in these soft drinks exceeded the legal limit set by the Nigerian Bottling Company, the local arm of Coca-Cola. Nigerian regulations at the time set maximum allowable limits for benzoic acid at 250 milligrams to kilograms in soft drinks. The issue that sparked the controversy was the potential interaction between these additives and vitamin C, also known as ascorbic acid. The case took an interesting turn when a Lagos State High Court declared that these excessive levels of these additives rendered Fanta and Sprite unsafe for human consumption when mixed with vitamin C tablets, which some people used as a remedy for various ailments. This ruling led to significant public concern and discussions about the safety of these popular soft drinks, not only in Nigeria but also in other parts of the world. People questioned the quality control measures in place, and the incident raised broader questions about food and beverage safety. Coca-Cola, the parent company of Fanta and Sprite, responded by defending the safety of their products, emphasizing that they complied with international standards and were safe for consumption. They argued that the combination of benzoic acid and ascorbic acid did not pose any health risks at the levels found in their products. Following this incident, there were calls for increased scrutiny of food and beverage safety standards in Nigeria. It prompted discussions about the need for stricter regulations and more rigorous testing of products. In 2015, Coca-Cola released an advertisement in Germany titled Good Old Times as a tribute to Fanta's 75th anniversary. The ad recounted the inception of the citrus-flavored soda, revealing that German bottlers had to create Fanta due to a shortage of the necessary ingredients to produce Coca-Cola. The commercial said, 75 years ago, resources for our beloved Coke in Germany were scarce. To celebrate Fanta, we want to give you the feeling of the good old times back. The video continued without acknowledging that the referred good old times coincided with the era of World War II and the Holocaust, a period marked by the loss of millions of lives. Coca-Cola issued an apology for the advertisement and replaced it with another version that did not make reference to good times. The advertisement, as noted by newspaper outlet The Express, did not explicitly mention that the beverage was manufactured in Nazi Germany during World War II, a period marked by trade embargoes against the country. They reported that the ad provoked strong backlash from online commenters. A spokesperson from Coca-Cola informed The Express that the intention behind the advertisement was to elicit pleasant childhood reminiscences, handing out an apology on behalf of the soda that goes as follows. We apologize for any offense caused by a video promoting our new Fanta Classic product in Germany. The new product is based on the original Fanta formula, and the video was intended to evoke positive memories of many consumers over more than 7 decades of Fanta brand history. But as we all know too well by now, that last sentence is a tough sell. So every time you crack open a can of Fanta, just remember that it has a rather ominous history, tainted by its association with a dark chapter in world history. It's a reminder that even the sweetest of things can sometimes have bitter origins. Do you have a story to share about Fanta? Maybe you were old enough to remember their infamous Nazi Germany ads. Tell us about it in the comments below. And while you're at it, subscribe to the channel for more videos like this one, and we'll see you in the next one.